Hi, my name is Norma Gaide. I'm doing this video for Blue Engine's teaching apprenticeship or beta. They asked three questions. I'm gonna answer all three of them. So the first question is, why do I want to do beta? So the reason I want to do beta is for two reasons. One is to have or get classroom and classroom environment experience, because I feel like that's very important to know before going into the education system so that you understand how a classroom will function and have a bit of understanding on how things are going to work, and have a teacher, a colleague, or a staff member there with you, and not worry about how things are going to work out if you're by yourself instead. It's so having someone there with you makes it a little less scarier to be with a whole bunch of students. And then beta also allows you to be in a smaller group with the students so you can get a better understanding of how you can teach each individual. And the second reason is because I want to gain confidence in becoming a teacher, someone that can educate and help pave the way for students who decide to go and get a higher education. And I also want to encourage the students to get a higher education, so that their path in life can be a lot wider than what they expect it to be. And if by the end of the year a lot of them do decide to go to pursue a higher education, I think that that's amazing, and I'll be proud of each and every one of them. And and then if I also realize that doing beta was that being in beta helped me gain the confidence I felt like I was missing before going into an education program in college, I feel like I would see that as well when I start to think about like a master's degree or grad school. And then the second question is, what challenge did I face and figure out? So a challenge I faced was in my actual life. It was on whether or not I should go to college. So my family situation isn't great. So that put a lot of weight on it, on my decision on to go whether to go to college or not. And it was a huge obstacle, because it's just I didn't want my family to suffer more than we already do financially. But I think by the end of it, with the encouragement of many people and speeches from many people, I figured that doing higher education, going to college, was something I did want to do, and I did pursue it. And the takeaway I got from that challenge on deciding whether or not to go to college was that there are going to be many obstacles in my way, and that not all of them are going to be easy to overcome. But with the help of people and the guidance of people close to you, with friends and family, the obstacle becomes smaller than it is if you were to face it alone. So that challenge of on whether or not to go to college was very big, and then became smaller once I had the encouragement of my family and my friends and old teachers and other people in my life, it became smaller, that or I had enough strength to overcome it as well, and feel like I wasn't alone, that no matter what, they always had my back. So that was that was a huge challenge, and the outcome and the lesson I learned was worth the challenge. The third question that that Beta asks. The third question Beta asks is it's from an excerpt from the new Jim Crow law. When I read it, it was very surprising, because I didn't know that there were still African American or people out there being denied the right to vote. I did know that people who've been incarcerated had a very difficult time finding jobs, going back into the getting educated, get their education, had a hard time getting into the education system, and other things. I knew of those struggles, but being denied the right to vote for no reason was very surprising, and it made me pause for like a long time before I was able to read the rest of it. And then once I was finished with the whole excerpt, I began to wonder, is like, if we can deny someone the right to vote, what's stopping us from denying children the right to an education? Because that's not something that should be done. That's a human right. That's a right someone has, and to have it taken away from you is not something that should be done. So 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 it was very weird, and it made me wonder if we can take the right to vote away from someone, what's stopping someone from taking away the right to an education, regardless of being a felon or not. And it's just it was amazing how quickly my mind went there, for a child not to be denied an education. And it's not something I would have ever imagined. But after reading that, it was just like something, and then it makes me want to be a part of the solution to figure out a way to stop that from happening or being repeated. And yeah, it was just it was flabbergasting for me. So yeah, it was so it's I don't want no one to be denied anything, because it's just difficult to be able to be here, and get an education in itself.